Hi, my name is John Limcool. Welcome to a new Plug and Groove video. Let's get that back. Welcome. Hey, so I've got some demo songs to play you for Del Norte for Unify. Both myself and a very talented musician named Saif Smear have done some demo tracks, and I've got one to play you in Logic and two that are audio files, but I can show you some tricks in the production of how I did this demo after we play it. So this is sponsored by my website, this video and this little production tutorial. Del Norte is now available for Unify. It's also, well, it comes in Kontakt or Omnisphere format. You buy one of those two formats, and then it also includes patches for Unify that will call up whether it's Omnisphere or Kontakt. I'm using the Kontakt version for all of the patches you're going to hear because for me personally, there's some things inside of this version of this Kontakt interface that we've built that are really cool. And there is no equivalent in Omnisphere to do the note glitch and some of the other things that we have going on. And those are used prominently in this demo. Let me be quiet, which is not easy to do. And I'll mute the microphone and play the demo, okay? There's actually, if you want to hear something cool, I'm still working on this. It's got a long ways to go, but let's back up a little bit. It's going to go into other stuff, but the demo that you can hear on SoundCloud that's showing off this library stops right there. But check this out. I'll share with you where this might go. Let's see. It's kind of like a what? Here we go. My name is Dita. I'll be your instructor. But again, that note glitch. Hear it up here? Oh, it's actually in the folder. So it's going somewhere. I don't know where it's going to go, but that demo, I'm going to take you through it in a minute. Let me play a couple other demos. These are the demos by Saif that came out really cool. The first one is called Road Trip, actually Neon Road Trip, just audio. So here we go. Cool. So that's a cool demo. The other is called Slip and Slide. All Kontakt Del Norte for everything you're hearing but the drums. Drums are additional that he's done. Isn't that great? I don't need to master this. So great demos. Nice. So that gives you an idea of some of the places this library can go, but can go all sorts of places, from chilled, ambient, dance, techno, all that kind of stuff. So if we look at the patches that were used, there's a couple tricks that were used here and there I want to show when we get to them. The first up is the star of the piece, which is this. Petal tone. It's C minor, G over G, then F minor over G. But the sound with that pulsing dance, that's done thanks to the note glitch. You can see right here, let me get this right in the middle. It has these parameters that you can choose the tuning. So if I said just to set it to like a 2, it's just 2 semitones. If I say +7, or octaves is 12, so of course. And then the timing rate is currently quarter notes. You can make it become more like a really cool, interesting attack. The number of repeats, the stereo's cool because that gives you the chance to pan it really like left, right, or less brings it in for each of these repeats. Really, really cool. So that sound is used in there. Then the pad is from Glass Pads. And you can see how they go well together. That pluck in the chord doing the, and it's a pad with note repeat again. So it's got note repeat going into the pad this time. So it kind of does like that eventide pitch harmonization. It's nice. So that is going on for those two. The bass, I kept this actually as a Kontakt instrument because I was doing some automating of the filter cutoff. I can show you a cool trick that you can be aware of when you're working with these instruments in Kontakt. You can hit the little tool wrench, and here's the filter that's currently being used. If you double click, this will show you the cutoff and the values that are used for it. And then if you hit mod, it will go down here and you have MIDI CC. And for some of the patches in Kontakt, the modulation wheel is making the sound darker. There's times where you want to invert it. So you can hit this invert button, which is currently lit, and now it can be dark. And the mod wheel will make it bright. So be aware that was used in this demo. I inverted this, and I think it was more of a bright tone. And then sounds really nice down here with the modulation on the mod wheel. So that's automated to, let's hit the automation button so you can see what's going on. There's pitch bend and then modulation. So it starts dark. Also, this is a drone. When you call it up, it has a long release, all that kind of stuff. I clipped it. I went in here and set the envelope settings so that it's pretty fast. And the release is at 147 milliseconds. Because drones, if they have the long release, there's a certain application for that. But in this kind of an application, that long sustaining bass is just going to get in the way when you change chords. If this is up long, it just gets muddy super fast. So when you're doing parts with a drone, they don't tell you this, but quite often you want to make it so it's almost like an organ, where it's a little soft on the attack, but you make the release shorter so it doesn't bleed into the next note. And that way you can get clean changes and it sounds really cool, and you don't have this like weird transition where multiple notes are playing. On top of that, I had a awesome dark snappy dude that's playing along just to give energy, rhythm. See that pulsing in there gives it that energy. So when you hear it in the track, get back to the drums. So it just gives it this enunciated feel. Just soften the mix. You don't need to have very loud, just enough that you can hear it, that you feel it. The lead is a really cool sound. I think it was stuck between pitch notes. But what makes this one really work is inside of the Del Norte library, there's all these attack transients, because the idea is big virus pads that I recorded from my Virus TI2. And then there's this attack element. And on top of all these percussion attacks, down at the end are these wind sounds where I used Melodyne and some other tools. RX was used quite a bit to remove the fundamentals so you just get the air. If I kill it's just a triangle waveform, and then I looped it, so as you speed up and go down the pitch, down the keyboard, it slows down the loop. So it's playing a different pitch. So it makes it seem like it's natural vibrato because it's changing rate all the time. It's not just an LFO sitting there playing all the time. So that's a cool sound inside of this library. Oh, get that back. Then we get to the melody. And this is one using glitch on that. It's used all over the place. It's crazy. Go Kontakt, glitch. But it's super fast. It's an octave up. I think there's 3 repeats. You get all sorts of really cool Don't go in there. I'm just playing a single note. So note glitch is very cool. So that was this really nice bright melody that just kind of wakes you up from the trance. And it's a question answer with the triangles alive. Okay, so that kind of covers the instruments. Now the drums are all Cloud City for Unify. And I used 2 drum kits. I used the hip skip kit, and then I used the world percussion kit. But I did some interesting things here I want to share with you. Let's get this to be smaller so it doesn't take up the whole screen. I basically divided this up. What I did that was kind of unique is that it normally would just be one drum kit that you call up, just one layer across the whole keyboard. But I wanted to process the kick drum, the snare drum, the hi-hats differently. And then in the middle of it, I decided I needed to have tambourine. And so I took a range and I popped it open and I replaced it with the tambourine. And you can see jitterbox is being used. Huge, huge difference. This would not sound as cool of a laid-back groove without jitterbox because it's quantized 100% in Logic. But check this out. If we go to the main groove part right here, and let's do this. Let's solo these guys. Solo and it's got this laid back feel. That's all because there's a jitterbox in the snare and the hi-hats. And the snare is laid back 23.9, hi-hats are 23.9. So somewhere in there, I'll let it go and then I'm going to turn off jitterbox so you can hear the difference. Here's without jitterbox. Here, that's perfect. Listen how that sounds in the track. It has nowhere near the weight. Hear that? Now let me turn back on jitterbox. Gives it this laid back, more space. Isn't that amazing? Just a little bit of random delayed timing makes all the difference for this track, from being legit sounding track, like I could hear this on some sort of a record, versus something that sounds like it's just a demo where everything's just perfectly quantized and, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool how that works. Now, if you want to do this kind of stuff where you like have one range, in fact, there's one thing here where I want to take the world percussion kit and up here I have these high bells that were used in the groove section right in here. Right now they're panned into the center. So I don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and stops right here. On this note is, I got all the other percussion down here. The congas and stuff are fine. But when I get up to here, I'm going to right click on the high note, the G8, and stop it at F5. And then I'm going to say, duplicate this track. And I want this note to start at F#5 and go to G5. F#5. And then the notes above that, I'm going to go back and say, duplicate this track again and have it go to the top range and start on G#. So this way, I have now separated these little tiny bell sounds because I want them panned over here. I didn't want them straight up center, because this way they'll kind of counter the tambourine that's on the right side. So now listen to our track. There. That's better. So it's panned a little bit off center, and I turned it down just a little bit. I can turn this down lower or higher if I wanted it louder. And because we don't have a drum kit mode yet, but you have 24 layers in a patch. So you can split a keyboard to where it had different ranges for just a snare or just a kick drum that you want to have processed a certain way. It's very easy to do. You can set it up that way. So that was fun. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope these tips give you some creative ideas, both for Unify, for the Del Norte library. I still like to call it Del Norte, although I've been told that Del Norte is the proper way to say it. It's all good. Okay, thanks for watching. Enjoy. We'll see you later.